Welcome to my channel Commerce Education. Today I shall discuss section 92B. It deals with meaning of international transaction. It has two subsections. Subsection 1 deals with international transactions and subsection 2 deals with deemed international transaction. Subsection 1 of section 92B states that for the purpose of section 92B itself and for the purpose of section 92, 92C, 92D, 92E. International transaction means a transaction between two or more associated enterprises, between two or more associated enterprises, either or both of whom are non-resident. That means associated enterprises has to be non-resident, one or both of the enterprises, associated enterprises. So international transaction is a transaction in the nature of purchase, sale, lease of tangible or intangible property, or provision of service, or lending or borrowing of money, any other transaction having which has bearing means relation on profit, income, losses, assets of such enterprise. So international transaction is transaction between two or more associated enterprises. Those associated enterprises, one or both or more should be non-resident. The transaction in the nature of purchase, sale, lease of tangible, intangible property, provision of service, lending, borrowing money, or any other transaction having bearing on profit, income, loss, asset of the enterprise. And international transaction shall include a mutual agreement or arrangement between two or more associated enterprises for allocation, apportionment, or contribution to any cost or expense incurred to be incurred in connection with benefit, service, facility provided to one or more of such enterprises. So international transaction include mutual agreement or arrangement between two or more associated enterprises for allocation, apportionment, or contribution to any cost or expense incurred in connection with benefit, service provided to be provided to one or more such enterprises. Now, subsection 2, which deals with deemed associated enterprise, uh, which deals with deemed international transaction. A transaction, a transaction which has been entered into by an enterprise with a person, a transaction which has been entered into by an enterprise with a person which is not a associated person, associated enterprise, which is not an associated enterprise, shall be deemed to be international transaction. Entered into between two associated enterprises if prior agreement exists, if there is prior agreement in relation to the transaction, between such other person means this person, this person, between such other person and associated enterprise, for the terms of transaction of the relevant transaction, that means the transaction which is being said here, uh, the relevant transaction are determined in substance between such other person and the associated enterprise, where the enterprise and the associated enterprise, or both of whom, are non-resident. So, moral of the story is, uh, when an enterprise enters into a transaction with a person, but this person is not an associated enterprise. So, a transaction entered into by an enterprise with a person, but this person is not an associated enterprise. But this person is not associated enterprise. Uh, this transaction shall be deemed to international transaction between two associated enterprise if there exists a prior agreement in relation to the relevant transaction between such other person and the associated enterprise, or the terms of relevant transaction and determine in substance between such other person and the associated enterprise, where the enterprise or associated enterprise or both of them are non-resident, irrespective of whether such other person is resident or not. So, associated person, enterprise has to be non-resident, but such other person may resident or non-resident, no matter whatever it is. Explanation to subsection provides the expression international transaction International transaction includes purchase, sale, transfer, lease, use of tangible property, including building, tangible property including building, transportation vehicle, machinery, equipment, tools, plant, furniture, commodity, or any other article, product, or thing. The international transaction includes purchase, sale, transfer, lease, use of intangible property, including transfer of ownership or provision of use of right regarding land use, copyright, patent, trademark, licenses, franchises, customer list, marketing channel, brand, commercial secret, know-how, industrial property right, exterior design, practical new design, other business or commercial right of similar nature. International transaction includes capital financing, including any type of long-term, short-term borrowing, lending guarantee, purchase, sale of marketable securities, or any type of advance payment or deferred payment receivable or any other debt arising during the course of business. International transaction includes provision of service, including service, including provision for market research, market development, market management, administration, technical service, repair, design, consultation, agency, scientific research, legal or accounting service. International transaction includes transaction of business restructuring or reorganization entered into by an enterprise with an associated enterprise, irrespective of the fact that it has bearing on the profit, income, loss, asset of such enterprises at the time of transaction or at any future date, irrespective of the fact, irrespective of the fact that it has bearing on profit. That means whether or not it has bearing on the profit, income, loss, asset of such enterprises. So transaction of business restructuring or reorganization entered into by an enterprise with an associated enterprise also included in the international transaction. Expression Roman 2 Roman 2 of the explanation deals with intangible property. Intangible property includes market related intangible property. What are the market related intangible property which has been included intangible in the intangible property? Trademarks, trade name, brand name, logos. Technology related intangible property. These are process, patents, patent application, technical documentation such as laboratory notebook, technical know-how, artistic related intangible asset, literary works, copyright, musical compositions, copyright, maps, engravings, data processing related intangible asset, proprietary computer software, proprietary computer software, software copyrights, automated databases, integrated circuit marks, and masters. Engineering related intangible asset. This includes such as industrial design, product patent, trade secret, engineering drawing, schema, techies, blueprints, proprietary documentation, proprietary documentation, customer related intangible assets, customer list, customer contract, customer relationship, open purchase order. Intangible property includes contract related intangible assets such as favorable supplier contracts, license agreement, franchise agreement, non-compete agreements. Human capital related intangible asset, trained, organized workforce, employee agreement, union contract. Location related intangible asset, leasehold interest, mineral exploration rights, easement, air right, water right. Goodwill related intangible asset, institutional goodwill, professional practice goodwill, personal goodwill of professional, celebrity goodwill, general business going concern value. Methods, programs, systems, procedures, campaigns, surveys, studies, forecast, estimates, customer list, technical data. All these are intangible property. Any other similar item which derives its value from intellectual content rather than its physical attributes. All these are included in the expression intangible property. So thank you.